This is News 25 with Deanna O'Donnell. News 25, local news you can count on. News is brought to you by J.K. Nelson Law. Give them a call, 727-9900. News is also brought to you by Desert View Hospital. You can count on us.
Welcome to News 25 here on KPVM TV and Ace Country Radio. Today is Monday, January 9th. I'm Deanna O'Donnell. Well, a home is protected as a fully engulfed recreational vehicle just feet away threatens to extend to the house on Friday night. Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue, Nye County Sheriff's Office deputies and auxiliary units were dispatched to a fully engulfed structure fire on Friday night off Rainbow Avenue. On fire was a recreational vehicle in close proximity to the main structure. All occupants were removed from the home. One of the residents commented that a lizard had passed away as a result. It's unclear right now if there was any other animals inside the motorhome or if it was being used as a fixed structure. Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue is investigating the cause of this fire. Traffic was blocked in all directions during the suppression and cleanup. Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue is investigating. And a driver is arrested following a single vehicle crash into a tree on Calvada Boulevard. Witnesses called police as he fled from the scene. Nye County Sheriff's Office deputies are investigating the cause of a single vehicle crash that occurred on Saturday on Calvada Boulevard, across of Mount Charleston. A white passenger car reportedly ran into the tree on the center median. The driver and only occupant was witnessed limping away from the vehicle and was located by Nye County Sheriff's Office deputies on Ambush Street. They were able to take the driver into custody at that time. At first, he declined to have medical attention, but a short time later, Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue were dispatched to the scene for an injury to the knee. At the time of the crash, the driver denied that he was involved in the incident. Traffic was diverted around the crash site during the investigation and cleanup. And the female veteran has lost everything she owns and two of her beloved pets. We caught up with Debbie Gordon outside a broken down RV. She and her dogs, who are alive, the two remaining, that are living in with no water or electricity.
Yeah, it was a week ago, and I thought nothing was going on. I went back to my bedroom, smelled a fire, smelled smoke, turned around. Within 3 feet of me, the wall was on fire. Tried to kick the little Christmas tree down and just ran through it because I couldn't breathe, and got out of the house screaming fire. I didn't know my dogs were inside, but I had to get away from it. I'm a veteran, I got PTSD and other issues, and I broke my femur and a couple other things. I've been stuck. The 500 from the Red Cross, they used to get me set up, get me a phone, get me propane and the heater. So that money, was gone pretty quick. We've been in the RV ever since. We got to replace the windshield, which is probably $1,500 too. She was trying to keep it under $2,000 to see if it, was going to be something we could keep doing, or maybe $3,000, or if we just needed to salvage this. So we're living in it with no electricity right now. It needs a lot of work because it's been sitting for 2 years, and we're just trying to get a little help. The keys for the two little cars that are broken down on the lot, the keys were burned up inside. I luckily had left the keys to the RV on the seat because I was every month starting the battery to try to keep sure it, didn't kill the battery. That all costs money, but I physically lost everything. This was out of the blue. It was like just all of a sudden it was there and everything was on flames. A cooler, Beth brought me her Coleman stove. They've been bringing me the gas tank to connect to the Buddy, the safe thing inside. They have a little one outside to cook on, but so far, it's been too cold and raining to use it out there, so we don't have any of that inside.
They also put a GoFundMe page?
My sister said she did. I don't have that information, but you said you have the information and you put it on there. Just because I've been on my phone that I bought with the money from the Red Cross. They were able to get me my same number, the 775-537-3034.
If people want to call that, they can donate.
Yes, they
directly.
can. Food is kind of a thing. A hot meal would be really nice. If people want to just give me, tell me go to a certain place and get it. My friends will go get it for me. A home cooked meal sounds really good, and something warm because it's cold.
And a Pahrump mom wants to warn people about some baby formula she recently purchased at our local Walmart. She says her baby does not have long-lasting effects, but did have symptoms from ingesting the product, and says it's a good idea for other parents to check out the powder before giving it to your child.
This is Titan Carey. He's about to be 3 months old on the 6th. He's a happy little camper when he doesn't have bad formula, huh? I purchased it from Walmart on 160, probably the 23rd of December. And my baby started experiencing fussiness, gassiness, constipation, irritableness, and he just all over wasn't right. So about not even a whole halfway through the can of formula, I found black objects. And I looked in his bottle that I had just had my mom make him, and there was black floating in the bottom of it. My lawyer is supposed to reach out to Similac and find out lab is going to test for, as well as they're going to go into testing with the formula as well. They said that they would send me a box and to place the formula in the box and send it back to them so they could do lab results. This is very concerning because it made him completely different. Little black chunks, like I would take the whole can of formula and dump it out and look through it for little black things in it. It's like a rock. It's very hard. It's a Similac Blue Can Advanced, and it was the 30.8 ounces, I do believe. It's the biggest can that they sell. Maybe it is something, because they have had objects found in formula or recalls with formula, and some of the babies died from it. But he isn't experiencing any of it since the fussiness, the constipation, none of it. He's back to his happy little self since I've took him from that can to a different can.
And more news on the other side of this break.
Nye County Sheriff's Deputy.
You're watching News 25, the most recognized and farthest reaching local news in Nye County. News 25, local news you can count on.
Well, a decision's been made by District Attorney Brian Kunze regarding Justice of the Peace Michelle Fiore and her residency requirements regarding her recent appointment by the Nye County Board of Commissioners to fill the late Kent Jasperson's bench in the Pahrump Justice Court. He says that objections to the appointment made on December 20th are based on the argument that the person selected was required to be a resident of Pahrump Township for at least 30 days prior to the deadline set for applicants to submit their applications on December 8th. NRS 4.010 requires that a Justice of the Peace must be a qualified elector. NRS 293.055 provides that an elector means a person who is eligible to vote under Nevada law. Any person who is 18 years or older is eligible to vote once they have resided in Nevada for 6 months and in the county or district for 30 days. It's important, he says, to note that the appointment to a vacant position is not an election. In order to be eligible to file for election, the individual must be a resident at least 30 days before the filing date of that election. The arguments being published suggest, he says, an applicant for appointment must be a resident for 30 days prior to the closing date for the submission of that application. He says there is no legal authority that supports this conclusion. The only requirement is that the appointee must be eligible to vote when he or she is appointed to the township office. DA Kunze says Ms. Fiore indicates she has been a longtime resident of Nevada and became a resident of Pahrump on November 17th of this year. Well, actually last year. She became a qualified elector, which would entitle her to vote in the Pahrump Township on December 17th. As qualified elector, the finding is that her appointment was in conformance with Nevada law. Deputies arrest a man they say tried to pass a counterfeit bill.
Nye County Sheriff's deputies learned that a man attempted to pass off a fake $100 bill at the Tonopah local grocery store Rayleigh's last month. Authorities spoke to multiple employees at Rayleigh's who told the officer that the suspect, later identified as Mark Light, attempted to pay for groceries on 2 separate occasions with a fake $100 bill. Deputies obtained a photo of the bill allegedly used by Light, and the words "play money" was seen printed on the bill. Police also learned that the suspect used his credit card to pay for the groceries after the store employee used the store's fraudulent bill finder and the bill failed to pass. The suspect also attempted to pass the same bill at Rayleigh's a few days ago, matching the same bill that was on the same photo, according to the officer's declaration. Police located Light at his residence in Tonopah, who told police he did not realize the bill was fake and received the bill from another person he did work for. Light also told deputies he hasn't handled cash in a significant amount of time, so he wouldn't recognize the bill to be fake, and denied attempting to pass the bill twice. Light was placed under arrest and was transported to the Tonopah Nye County Detention Center for the alleged crime of intent to utter fictitious bill.
And $14 million has been granted to Nye County. At the Board of County Commissioners meeting recently, our grant manager told us how that would be spent.
An item to ratify Commissioner Chair Frank Carboni's acceptance of the Local Assistance and Tribal Consistency Fund grant award through the United States Treasury in the amount of $12 million was presented.
I, too, have a question about the Tribal Consistency Fund of this. Does this mean that it is something to do with the Indian tribes that live in Nye County? Or does that entitle them to some monies or something? Because I'd like to know where we're going to put this. If we approve the $12 million, where are we going to put this? I think it takes more than just a signature. It's actually a grant award. And I checked it out pretty well, and I did not see any real strings attached to it. So I'm just would like that clarified.
So their funds were allocated both for local governments, so the local assistance part, as well as a separate funding for tribes. So the Duckwater tribe in Nye County would have been eligible if they had followed certain steps. At this time, we don't have confirmation whether or not they've accepted any of the grant funds that were awarded specifically to them. I will say that once we get to the public workshops and we get to the point of allocating these funds, that our tribal constituents should be considered depending how we do end up allocating the funds. So absolutely, Duckwater is a part of our community, is a part of our county, but with this LATCF, the local assistance was directly just for Nye County. The tribal funding would have been a separate allocation. It would be totally separate. Nye County will get an income of $12 million, and if the tribe accepts theirs or was eligible for theirs, they would get that separately into their own coffers.
If there's no further discussion from the board, I'd like to call for the vote, please.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed, aye.
Carboni's aye.
Boscovich is aye.
5-0.
From the University of Nevada Reno Extensions Program. She's the manager for the Nevada Radon Education Program. We'll be teaching a radon education class on February 2nd at 1 p.m. at the University of Nevada Cooperative Extension Office here in Pahrump, located at 1651 East Calvada Boulevard. Attendees will receive a free radon test kit. Radon is in every home, so reducing the amount one is exposed to is a key to lowering the risk of developing lung cancer from that gas. Testing is the first step in preventing lung cancer caused by radon. Confirming an initial elevated result with further testing may also be necessary. If the follow-up test confirms that there is an elevated level of radon, then installing a radon mitigation system is recommended to reduce the risk of lung cancer. Houses, whether mitigated or not, should be retested every 2 years before and after remodeling and after significant seismic activity. If you missed any of that, we've posted it on our KPVM Facebook page. News 25 will return in a moment with your health.
You're watching News 25, brought to you by Mountain West Lawyer, Injury Attorneys, 727-9500. News 25, local news you can count on.
Well, with the new year underway, now is a good time for parents to check a pediatrician about childhood immunizations. According to Dr. Kimberly Giuliano with Cleveland Clinic Children's, there has been a noticeable decline with some vaccines, and the pandemic is partially to blame.
The other challenge that we're starting to see is growing misinformation about vaccines and people's hesitancy and concerns about the vaccines. And some of the vaccine concerned groups getting their message out more loudly and more clearly, that's causing some parents to kind of take a pause.
Dr. Giuliano says all of the childhood immunizations that are administered have been around for years and are proven safe. She says by not giving your child the necessary vaccines, you're not only putting them at risk for infection, but it can also be life-threatening, not to mention diseases like the measles and mumps, which have largely been dormant thanks to immunizations, could resurface. Dr. Giuliano says her best advice for parents is to be mindful of where they are getting their information and to only trust reliable medical resources.
We know what these vaccines do. We know that they save lives. And we know that the risks of a child having a serious complication from a vaccine is almost non-existent. We see common side effects like fussiness, fever, irritability, and those go away. But the impacts of some of these diseases don't go away.
And Dr. Giuliano also notes that an unvaccinated child could also risk getting others sick, like an infant who hasn't been able to get all of their vaccines or someone who is immunocompromised. If you're looking to buy a new computer, you may have questions, and our go-to guy, Josh Osborne at Great Computer Deals here in Pahrump, is here to help.
Hi guys, Josh Osborne with Great Computer Deals. It's time for another quick tutorial, viewer question edition.
One viewer asks, is Apple really better than PC? I get this question all the time, guys, and I don't know why it gets people so heated. There's simply two different approaches going on here. If you're the type of user that likes a simplistic operating system with great security, but can be a bit pricey and doesn't offer much for customization, but it integrates well with all your different tech devices, then Apple is the way to go. If you prefer an operating system that is more universally used, but can be very buggy and vulnerable to security threats, but is much cheaper in price and offers quite a bit more options when it comes to hardware and software, then a PC with Windows is the way to go. At the end of the day, it's not about which one is good or bad, it's about which one works best for you.
Why trust a technician when you can trust a friend? Great Computer Deals is located at 1190 East Highway 372. Call us at 775-990-8833.
Well, there's a beautiful dog available right now at Pets Are Worth Saving. We're going to speak to Tressa Wask.
Today's Save a Pet segment is made possible by Realty Executives in Action. Put the team at Realty Executives in action for you.
This is Stacy. She's a Chesapeake Shepherd. She's brown. She's about 10 months old. She's a sweet girl. She's a little bit shy, but she's really sweet when she gets to know you. She'd make a great addition to anybody's home. She's, like I said, she's brown with a black muzzle. And I'm not sure if she's mixed or not, but she's we know she's Chesapeake. And again, you can see her at our website at nevadapaws.org, or you can call our store for more information at 775-253-5051, or you can just stop by the store at 7121 Homestead Road.
News 25 WeatherCam is brought to you by Lerner and Rowe Injury Attorney's Office in Pahrump. In a wreck, need a check? Call 702-877-1500.
Well, it's still out there. I wonder what's in store for the week. John's going to tell us all about it when we return.
News 25 weather is brought to you by Dairy Council of Nevada. The splash of cream in your coffee, the dollop of sour cream on your burrito, the melted toasty cheese on your pizza. Undeniably delicious, undeniably dairy. Enjoy what's real.
Good evening, Nevada. It's John Kohler from the KPVM Channel 25 Weather Studios and worldwide on the local BTV app, the app you need on your phone in 2023. Hey, let's take a look at this weather. Getting dicey up north, really, from about Beatty on up. I'll tell you, the whole state's got a wind advisory. Beatty on up, you got winter storm warnings. You've got snow coming at you. You've got flooding possible. So this is going to be an interesting evening. Further, you got 42 degrees, Fallon at 45, 39 out there in Carson City. Cool spot is Tonopah at 38, also 39 in Goldfield. And Beatty's got the right attitude at 50, but watch out for the rain and the winds. It's all coming at you. Amargosa 55, perfectly wonderful, except windy, 55 degrees in the Hot Spot Award winner. Las Vegas at 53, Death Valley at 68, and flood warnings out in Death Valley. Watch out for that. Here in the Paradise of Pahrump, well, let's take a look. 55 degrees I don't think anybody's talking about a flood, but we do have some significant winds coming at us out of the southeast, 18 miles per hour. High today was 57 degrees. Sun rose this morning at 6:55, and it set this evening at 4:46. We're heading down to low tonight at 51. And the wind continuing out of the southeast at 15 miles per hour seems pretty kind compared to the rest of the state. Humidity at 63%. I think we're going to get some rain tomorrow. Oh, yeah, we're going to get some rain for sure. 99% chance. And it's coming sideways out as a 24 miles per hour. Looks like weather's kind of squirrely everywhere. Of course, we got that wind advisory too. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, not too bad. 5-mile-an-hour winds. Temperatures rebuilding up to 62-degree high on Friday. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, looks like we got some rain coming at us, and maybe even some significant rain Saturday and Monday. We'll take a look and keep a look at those values as they develop. But yeah, it's going to be kind of a wet and windy week. Enjoy it. Back to the desk. Here's Deanna.
We also want to remind everybody when we're looking at those rain temperatures, and we have a 33 low overnight down here in our basin, it's definitely going to be snow and ice up there on the mountain, and you need to make sure to drive careful and leave plenty of time for you to travel, especially over the top of Mountain Springs. And we are hoping to get that camera installed so everybody can see what's going on at the top of the Mountain Springs. We are working on that, and we'll keep you posted for any further developments as that comes to fruition. Anyways, that's going to wrap up this edition of News 25. I'm Deanna O'Donnell from all of us here at KPVM TV and Ace Country Radio. Have a great night.